Hi girls! So today we're going to do a fun little activity where I'm going to teach you a game. This game you're going to need some coins and you're going to need tape and you're going to need a flat surface. So it can be a table or it can be a book, just anything that you can put that tape on and that a coin could land on. If you don't have coins, that's okay too. I'm going to teach you how to make little paper balls that you can flick that'll serve the same purpose as the coin for this activity. So let's get started. My flat surface is just going to be a mixed media pad of paper. I have my paper right here that I'm going to use to make a coin in case you don't have a coin with you. Then I have my tape and then I have my coin. So that's it. That's all you need. All right, so to start, you're going to want to just take your flat surface and your tape and you're going to tape across like this. So you're going to have your first section be pretty big and then they're going to get smaller the further away from you go. Okay, so I've put all of my tape down. And this is what it should look like. So you can see that this is the largest part, this bottom part right here. This is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4, and this will be 5. So you should have 5 sections on your paper, starting again at really big and then going up to really little. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to fold it from pretty much any piece of paper. I actually just ripped this off of my longer piece of paper, and we're going to make it into something that looks like this. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take one of the corners and fold it up against the other edge. And it's going to be like this. Just like that. You're going to flip it over and then you're going to take this square part. So see how this edge meets right here and then it goes off. Where those two meet, you're going to push this back. So you'll fold this back like this. And then you'll flip it back over and you should just have this little part left. You'll fold that over like that. And then you will have a little piece of paper. And it might look a little different depending on what you had to fold over, but as long as it's in the shape of a triangle, you will be able to put it in your hand and flick it. And if you do use a piece of paper, you will need to write on it what you want it to represent. So since this is a quarter, I'm just going to write 25 on this since a quarter is 25 cents. So this will be just like I'm using a quarter. All right, so to play, you're going to want to take your piece of paper or your coin, whichever one you're using, and you're going to want to flick it. And your goal is going to be to get it to land on your flat surface. So this section is section 1, and my paper landed right here. So what does that mean when you're keeping score? So when you're keeping score, and I'm going to do this on the leftover paper from this 25 landed right here on the 1 section. So that's 25 cents. And since it landed on 1, you only have one quarter. So 1 cents. So times 1. And then, of course, that's 5 and 2. So your score right now is 25 cents. All right, so for the rest of these examples, I'm just going to be using coins, but if you don't have coins and you had to make the pieces of paper, you're just going to need a piece of paper with a 1 on it for your penny, a piece of paper with a 5 on it for your nickel, a piece of paper with a 10 on it for your dime, and a piece of paper with 25 on it, like I showed you, for your quarter. And you're just going to need one of each of those, or if you're playing with someone else, they will need one of each of those too. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I will record each of my coin flicks for this round, and then we'll go through and tally up my score. You can also just toss your coin if you don't know how to flick one. So I'm going to throw my penny. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a penny, which is worth 1, landing on space 5. So just make sure that you write that down. So I have a 1, so 1, which is a penny, it's worth 1 cent, on, so we'll do times 5. And then you can go ahead and flick your next coin, which will be your nickel. Okay, so my nickel landed on 2, so a nickel is worth 5 cents. So we're gonna get out our little score sheet again, and we're gonna do 5 for the nickel times, and then it landed on space 2, so it'll be a 2. All right, then we have our dime, which landed on space 1. So it'll be 10 for 10 cents because that's what a dime is worth, and it landed on space 1, so it'll be times 1. Just like that. All right, and then our last coin, our quarter, which landed on 2. So 25, which is going to be the hardest one to multiply, and it landed on space 2. So you're going to write 25 times 2. All right, so we have all of our scores, and what you're going to want to do once you and either just yourself or the person you're playing with, if you're playing with somebody, once you've gone through all of your coins, you've gone all the way to the quarter, you're going to want to multiply to get your score. So we had a penny on space 5, which 1 times 5 is 5. We had a nickel on space 2, 5 times 2 is 10. We had a dime on space 1, and 10 times 1 is of course 10. Any number times 1 is just going to equal the number. And then we have 25 times 2. Okay, so I already went through and did my totals, but I do want to talk just really quickly about multiplying your 25s because you may not know how to do that. You can see that I did it the long multiplication way up here, which is the way that if you know how to do it, you've probably been taught to do it. And if you do know that way, I encourage you to practice it like this. But if you don't, I'm going to show you a really easy way to think about it. So basically, we have 25 times 2. All that's telling me is that I have 2 25s. So I have 25 plus 25. If I had landed on 3, I would have 3 25s. So I would do 25 plus 25 plus 25. And then you can write that out and you can add it. It takes a little bit longer to do it that way, but that's another way to do it if it helps you to think about it that way. And if you think about it that way, you'll just write out 25 however many times the number that you landed on. So we landed on 2, so you'll write 25 twice. And then you're just going to want to add them up. So 5 plus 5 is 10, 20 plus 20 is 40, so 40 plus 10 is going to be 50. And that is also 25 times 2. All right. So once you have that done, you're just going to want to add up your scores. It's the last math problem you're going to have to do to get your score, I promise. For me, it helps to split it up. So I've written down all of my scores here. So 5, 10, 10, and then 50. And then you're just going to want to add those up. So the way that I do it is I like to split it into a smaller problem. So I'll add the 5 and the 10 to get 15, and then I'll add the 50 and the 10 to get 60. And then I can just do 60 and 15, which is 75. So if you're having trouble adding a long string of numbers, sometimes it can help to just break it up like that. All right, once you have tallied up your score, you are done. You have completed the game. The goal is to get the highest score possible. The highest possible score, if your board only has 5 slots on it, is a 205. So I challenge you to try to get that. But first and foremost, I challenge you to beat my very impressive score of 75, which I'm sure you will. I am not very good at flicking coins. But a lot of you have been saying that you have wanted help with multiplication, and this is a really good way to practice. It's a really fun way to practice, and you can do it just about anywhere. So let me know how it goes for you all. Let me know if you struggled with any of the multiplication. Let me know if you have any questions about the multiplication. I'm always happy to help. And let me know if you beat my score. Bye!